Morning. How are we all? I'm alright, I think. My mother has started speaking to me again. She realises that because of her confusion, she's made a mistake. She knows it wouldn't steal from her. I just wouldn't do that. There are some that would, but I wouldn't. And my own brother and uncle leapt to conclusions because they don't even know me. I find that distressing. My own blood doesn't even know me. That's life though. As the saying go, you choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. It does, it hurts me. Shouldn't. I should accept it and move on. But it leaves this dull pain, like a phantom limb. And like I'm itching something and something hurts that isn't there and hasn't been there for a long time. As in family. I think the last member of my family who I really knew and loved was my father. Who's been gone over a year now. I miss that tough old bugger. He was. There ain't many who can reach his age and up until 5 years before his death still be going down the gym regularly. I think part of it was sociability and charming young ladies. Where I get that shit from, eh? I mean, I had my first criticism from a stranger on my YouTube about the training videos I put up. Well, if you don't know what you see, don't watch it. And I couldn't resist firing off a few things because I basically had a look at what he followed. And I misjudged. But I think he took the point. Oh, I think I'll take your first suggestion. Good. Bye. If you don't like what you're seeing, get the funk out. Pretty much. This is my policy for most things. I entertained the local Labour councillor. In the UK, we have the Conservatives and Labour, and a few other minor parties. But you know how in the US you have the Republicans and the Democrats, we have Conservatives and Labour. Basically, we have other parties, but none of them really have that much power. Well, our local MP is a Conservative, or Republican, I would say. And he's a careerist, in my opinion. Doesn't really care about Ipswich, allegedly, in my opinion. I give him shit on Facebook quite a lot, but just enough so I can needle him but not get banned. I gave him a live needling indirectly yesterday. No, day before. Pop-up shops in Ipswich, they're random small shops. They hire out the space on a weekly basis or something like that. I don't know. It's something to fill up a space, basically, and there's some really nice shops. I was on Carr Street in Ipswich, for those who are local and don't know. Excuse me. It's food shops, jewellery shops, knickknacks. There's a Jamaican food shop, an Indian food shop. I really must actually scrounge together the money to have some curried goat at the Jamaican food shop. Yum. I like my foreign food, despite the fact I'm British. Well, that's unfair to the Brits in general. Most of our food's foreign anyway. That's what we do. We have appropriated much over the years, including tea, even fish and chips. Portuguese, I think they do it better. And I saw our local MP wandering. I looked at him, he looked at me. I went, right, Tom, and he went, oh, I'm not going to bother. Because I've tried engaging with him before and he's not interested. He's just interested in, photo ops and pretending that he cares. Allegedly. So, yeah. And I was chatting to a young lady called Pixie, who has mental and physical disabilities, who's I think has had a hard time with the local authorities. And I happened to mention that he was there. I mean, this was out front while he was wandering around getting photo opportunities. And she's like, oh, really? Local MP? I was like, yep. White trainers, blue suit. That's him. And she's like, oh, I'm going to go and have a word with him. And I went, you go, girl. And then I thought, I'm going to be elsewhere. Wind him up, let him go. I think I dropped a landmine on him. I hope he got made to feel really uncomfortable. In my opinion, he deserves it. Oh, bloody hell. And that's the thing. few years ago in this town, we had another Conservative MP called Ben Gummer. He actually, despite the fact I disagree with his politics, Conservative, he actually cared about the town because he was local. This guy doesn't, allegedly. He's a careerist. He's from Ely in Norfolk. Yeah, he'll move on to a slightly better seat after this election because I don't think he's going to keep the seat. Yeah, I don't like career politicians. It's why I don't like the current Labour leader, Keir Starmer. He's a careerist, in my opinion, allegedly. He doesn't. He's demonstrated he doesn't have much in the way of principle as far as I'm concerned. He's very slick. He knows what he's doing in Prime Minister's question time. I don't know what the US equivalent is, but basically the leader of the ruling party in this country is subject to scrutiny on a weekly basis. And MPs from across the board, members of Parliament, can fire questions at him once a week. Gets quite heated sometimes. What else have I been up to? Well, as I said earlier, my mother seems to be missing me and needing my help again from afar. It's difficult for her. Early stage senile dementia. She forgets things. I mean, she still works. She still drives to work. Give her anything that she knows what she's doing with and she's fine. But as soon as she tries to do something unfamiliar, it's like, whoa. I fear it. Losing your mind like that. So my favourite author, Terry Pratchett, went, here's to you, Sir Terry. Sir Terry. Lost too many good friends and idols I look up to in the last 5 years. Shit's getting real. Bit of copper that I need to clean. It's pretty clean already, but I've got one of those sonic cleaner devices I bought for a pittance in a charity shop. I seem to be very good at that one. Yeah. In the past 5 years, there's been Richard Day, a very good friend, and I think within 5 years there was also another good friend, Robin. There was Stuart, my father, Rick, Getting old ain't nice, people. In 3 days' time, I'm 52. I think I'm 52. You start losing people, but you got to bear it. That's what a warrior does. We should know that we will lose friends, allies. Everything dies. Nothing lasts forever. But it's sometimes difficult to accept, I think. I will at some point after my father's... What? Excuse me. At some point after my father's proper headstone is put in, which is happening in a week or so, pay for an alteration to it with my mother's written permission. I always wanted to make him a walking stick like the one I own, because he admired that. He thought that was really good work. And he did need a stick in his later years. Just some iron fittings where, when closed and sealed, a walking stick can be attached to the back of his gravestone. I've already got a filter, I need tobacco. I miss him. Me and him understood each other. We didn't for a lot of years, but in the last decade of his life, we really understood each other, I think. I miss the smile on seeing me. I mean, when I changed, when I first had my sides of my head shaved, and he first saw me, I still remember him looking at me, grinning and saying, "Like the haircut." He was a difficult but genuine man. He had many flaws, but he was who he was. And I kind of grew to admire that. I think he had the potential to be much more than he was. If certain things hadn't happened to my father, he would have been a lot like me. He would have been doing so many things. But he just had a lot of his creativity smothered. That would be the good word. I wish he was still there. I really do. But people don't last forever. Nothing does. I've said that before, I'll say it again. And life's getting there. Ipswich Community Hub Chip is seemingly back on track after the hiccups. It's back focusing on what it should be doing. The usual suspects are back. All's good, I think. I've picked up a couple of bargains in local charity shops. Okay, yeah, it's Mirror Rising. That is closest to the edge. It's a documentary on the 2012 Isle of Man Tourist Trophy TT races, motorcycling. And I've seen it once and it's brilliant. The intensity and the way these men who ride those high performance motorcycles around country roads at 150, 170 miles an hour. They're warriors. And yeah, again, this is going to be Mirror Rising because of how I've got this set up. Bernard Cornwell's The War of the Wolf, latest in the Last Kingdom. I apologise for the backwards. It's just how I do things. Eventually I will get a better setup for doing this, but you'll just have to put up with it. And my first criticism on some reenactment training videos. I think his criticism was valid from his point of view. I think he thought we were doing full contact, full on combat. We're not. We're display combat. Different rules. Because he was saying, why were you only swinging one weapon at a time? Because I had axe and sword. And why was this and why was that? I'm thinking, yeah, that's all valid for real combat, but not for display combat. Anyway, I just basically told him, well, if you don't like what you see, don't watch it. I think I already said that. Yeah, I'm just confused. I woke up half an hour ago. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Finishing off the wine. Right now, I don't think it's worth going back to bed. Not that I've been. I slept on the sofa. Sorry, Michelle. Five white envelopes, apparently. Yeah. War of the Wolf, apparently. This wolf feels constantly at war with what's left of his family, apart from my mother, I think. With the world outside these walls. It's all combat. Come on, you fighting with my lighter now. It all seems like such a struggle. But don't give up. I and you guys that are struggling out there, and girls, of course, or other types of people, if you're struggling, keep on fighting. I know it's hard. I know for a lot of people it's harder than it is for me because I relish the conflict. That's how I view it. It's a long war. To coin a good friend's series of fantasy novels, well, our acquaintance, I would say. We were good friends many years ago. As for those who like dark fantasy, I'm plugging a certain Anthony Smith, a series of dark fantasy books in the vein of George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones, and indeed Bernard Cornwell's early historical fiction, as in Early in Time. There are similarities, but with Anthony, or Tony as I knew him, with Anthony Smith's very own dark twist. I'm listening to them on Amazon. Just can't find them in charity shops. Very, very good if you like that sort of thing. Anyways, I think I'm probably going to fire up the PS4, do a bit of gaming. Because no, I'm not going back to sleep again. I don't sleep. That'll be the ADHD, autism. Possibly even Asperger's. Apparently the Duke of Wellington, one of our most celebrated generals, may well have been high-functioning Asperger's. He had a saying, he would often, get home from carousing at stupid o'clock in the morning. 2 hours later, he'd be up doing paperwork. Because according to him, when it's time to turn over, it's time to turn out. If you wake up, you get out of bed. And I understand that sentiment and agree with it. I'm all right. The world is a confusing and complicated place. I'm a hunter in a farmer's world. My senses and stuff are sharper than most people's. I see things that others don't see. I don't fit in with most people in this world. But I'm finding my place. And that is important, people. Find your place. Find somewhere you feel comfortable. Even if your family and others who are more conventional disagree with what you're doing, you have to find your place. Somewhere you can call home. Not just here where I'm sitting, but mentally, physically, just somewhere you can call home. It's important. Those of us who are on the spectrum, we are different. We look at things in a different way, we behave differently. There are those who are neurotypical, that's the phrase. There are those neurotypical people who do at least acknowledge and understand that we're different, but there are many who don't at all. That's the whole X-Men thing, isn't it? The series of movies. Whereas some of them, they hate and fear normal people because of the way they've been treated. I feel like that a lot. Some would say I've got a chip on my shoulder about it and I should get over it. Okay. Walk a mile in my shoes and then tell me that. Yeah. Don't ever, bedhead, don't ever let anyone tell you to get over it. What that's traumatized you is your own personal trauma, and no one else can truly understand it. Right, we're at 30 minutes, so I think that's enough. Hopefully something I said will help someone out there. Because let's face it, there's very little help in this world. You got to take ropes where you can find them and save yourself from drowning. Sorry that was a bit dark. I'll be more cheerful in the next one, okay? Bye. Bye.